Fatiu, a 15-year-old cybersecurity student at Atibyan Tech Academy, gave his first presentation after a month of dedicated learning. In attendance were his senior colleagues Abdulmalik and Tobi, both software engineering students at the academy, who were there to assess his presentation. Also present were Amina, a cybersecurity analyst, and Abdullateef, a cybersecurity engineering student. The session included questions and discussions. Enjoy.
Good day everyone, my name is Fatiu. I'm a cybersecurity student at Atibyan Tech Academy. Today I'll be taking you all through the common cyber attacks, causes, threats, and their solution. And I'll be using the Coinbase customers data breach as a case study for this presentation. Firstly, I would like to talk about Coinbase itself. Coinbase is a popular cryptocurrency exchange platform that allows users to buy, sell, and store various digital currencies. So the organization has been running their business smoothly until when they had the data breach, which started on 26th of December 2024 and was noticed by Coinbase on May 11, 2025 after they received an extortion email from the attackers. So before I dive into how the attack happened, I would like to briefly explain what data breach is. Data breach is when confidential, sensitive, or protected information is accessed, stolen, or disclosed by unauthorized users, either by hacking, insider threats, or accidental leaks. So, and as for the Coinbase, they faced an insider threat attack. That was the cause of their data breach. Now, move to the attack methodology. I want you all to know that there are many types of attack, not only social engineering as was the Coinbase. We have other attacks like the phishing attack, which involves getting people's personal login or password by using fake emails and links. An example is when you receive an email. That says, click on this link to get 100,000 naira per month. Are you clicking on the link and it's requested for your Gmail and you log in your Gmail? The attackers will be able to access your Gmail account and use it to perform other acts on your resources. So we also have ransomware attack. Ransomware attack, this is a type of attack by which attackers encrypt companies' customers' data, and ask for a certain amount of money. Encryption is the process of turning a readable data, which is done in plain text, into an unreadable data called ciphertext. So if the company's information is being encrypted, they will not be able to access it, or else they have the key to decrypt it, and that's what they'll be paying for. They'll be paying the attackers for. We also have the man in the middle attack. This is when an information is compromised on getting to the final destination, and it can be used to get passwords and personal information. We also have the SQL injection. This is the type of attack by which a code is being injected into a system and monitor every act that is performed in it. An example, now let's say I have an SQL injection, an SQL is injected into my system. Any activity I perform on the laptop, maybe I log into my Facebook, or any task I perform will be seen by the hackers. We also have malware attack. Malware attack is a type of, is also known as a malicious way. It is used by attackers to destroy system normal functionality. We also have the DDoS. The DDoS attack is a type of attack which involves overloading a system with traffic. By doing this, this could make the system crash and they will not be able to access information. So we have, and as for the Coinbase, they have the type of attack they face with the social engineering. Social engineering is the process of manipulating people into getting vital information, and the type of social engineering that Coinbase faced was internal bribery. But attackers did not hack into the system directly. Instead, they reached out to Coinbase customer support agents from third-party company Taxos through a private channel and offered selected employees a large amount of bribe to bypass security checks, access internal tools, and exploit customers' sensitive data undetected. So Coinbase faced both external and internal form of attack, because the attackers are external and they reached out to their employees So by doing that, they bribed them and they got their information. So this takes us to the data exfiltrated. So over due to the fact that Coinbase did not pay the ransom asked by the attackers so the attackers leaked their personal information on the 17th of May. They leaked their customers' personal information, which led to over 69,000 customers being the victim of the attack, and they had their full names, phone numbers, home addresses, email addresses, government ID, last 4-digit SSNs, bank details, account balance, and transaction history. They had the following information leaked outside. Now you have the vulnerability exploited. Before I go deep into this, I would like to briefly explain what vulnerability is. Vulnerability can be defined as a loophole or a weakness. Vulnerability is a weakness that can be taken advantage of, and we have the vulnerability exploited by the attacker. The attackers are the overprivileged third-party access. Coinbase lack what we call access. They lack proper access control. And access control in cybersecurity is the process of regulating who can access particular resources. So, and you have the component of access control as the authentication, authorization, and accounting. Authentication, this is used to identify users' identity. The authorization, this is used to ensure that an authenticated user has access to certain resources. An example is me giving someone the password to my phone, but there's another password on my WhatsApp, so the person can access my phone but can't access my WhatsApp. That's how authorization works. And you have accounting or auditing. This is used to monitor users' activities. So you have the types of access control. You have the rule-based access control, mandatory access control, discretionary access control, and so on. But as for the Coinbase, they faced a rule-based access control. They did not have proper rule-based access control. And rule-based access control, this is when employees is being limited of actions based on their role in an organization, so they can't access you are only giving access to resources that are based on your role in the organization. So Coinbase, they lack this, and this third party see this as and this give the third party privilege to access resources that are not even based on their own role in the organization. Now you have the lack of insider threat detection. Now, please, I want to break this down for you all. So I'd like to take it with threats. Now, I want you guys to know that threats is any potential danger that can take advantage of a weakness or vulnerability. And we have two main types of threats. You have the external threat and the internal threat. The external threat, this is the threat that is not within an organization, but from outside. It can be hackers, and it can be maybe competing companies that are competing with your companies to get your customers' personal information. So now you have the different types of threats. You have the malware, you have the phishing, you have ransomware, and so on. But I know you guys will be thinking that, but I mentioned this as a type of cyber attack. Well, there's a difference between cyber attack. There's a difference between cyber attack and threat. A threat, as I said before, is any potential danger that can be taken advantage, that can take advantage of a vulnerability. And an attack, a cyber attack, is when the threat is being put into action. Example, when I was saying, but I said malware attack. I didn't say malware. Malware itself on its own is a threat, but when I added the attack to it, that's what turned it to a cyber attack. So you have and you also have the internal threat. Internal threat, this is the one that happens within the organization. It can be partners or employees, and this can happen intentionally and unintentionally. But as for the Coinbase, it was intentional because the third party were bribed to get their customers' personal information and export it. So had it been Coinbase have been monitoring their system and checking for and have monitoring their system, they have detected the insiders using tools that are not even related to their own role in the organization. And I would like to give you some ways you can detect a threat. Number one, by monitoring systems on a daily basis, and you also have by using the appropriate tools like the firewall, the IDS/IPS, which means intrusion intrusion detection system, or intrusion detection, or preventive intrusion system. So this takes us to the lack of zero trust architecture. Zero trust architecture is when, let me just say it in a simple form, that there is no user is trustworthy by default. Like, no user is trustworthy by default. So the Coinbase, they trusted the third party to follow rules in their organization, but instead they saw it as an advantage, and they access their customer data and exported it to the attackers. Now we have the unmonitored third party access, because Coinbase have not been monitoring their employees' activities. They've not been monitoring what they are doing, in the sense that whenever they access certain information in the certain resources in the organization, they were not asked the reason for accessing the information and what they use the information to do. So by that, but they were not monitored, they see there's also a vulnerability for the company, and they used it against them. Now move to the effect of the attack on Coinbase. We have the reputational damage, due to the fact that the customers couldn't trust Coinbase with their personal information, and so most of them moved to other platforms, and which led to Coinbase having trust issues with their customer, and most of them left to other platforms, while Coinbase lose most of their customers. That the financial cost, over $180 million to $400 million, was the total loss for the Coinbase, because they had to compensate the users that were victim of phishing attacks. They had to compensate them, and they had to they had to spend more of their money on cyber security to secure their systems. Now the lawsuit and regulatory pressure. After the attack, Coinbase faced legal lawsuit filed by their customers, and also regulatory investigation by government bodies. So the regulatory bodies include the SEC, which they are in charge of the protecting customers' data, the SEC, and also have the FBI, which are the government enforcement agencies. So they are all making sure that companies like Coinbase are accountable for their customers' data breach. I'll go to the effect of the attack on customers. Personal information exposed. Customers had most of their personal information exposed, and this led to the customers being prone to being scammed by attackers. So they could be a victim of phishing and other attacks. We have the phishing and impersonating scam. Many users complained about being scammed by being impersonated by phishing scams, and so most of them fell for the phishing attack, but they had their personal information used, so they used it against them, and the people disguised as Coinbase employees and workers, so they got them scammed, and they lost most of their money. We have emotional and mental stress, due to the fact that the customers have so they have a lot, they have to monitor their accounts, and also the fear of being scammed made the customers emotionally and mentally stressed. We have the risk of identity theft. Now that their personal information have been exposed, so an attacker can just take it of someone's identity and use it to perform fraudulent acts. An example, if by having the person's identity, you can use the identity to borrow money from banks without paying. So instead of finding the original person that borrowed the money, it will be in the person's name, because they'll be storing the person's identity. We're talking about the mitigation strategies. Now, me as a cybersecurity student, I recommend the following mitigation for Coinbase to avoid any more data breach. We have the security and infrastructure overall. Now, after the attack, I will suggest that Coinbase fire any employee that is that is any employee that was involved in transporting customers' personal data, personal data to the attackers. So after that, then they should upgrade their access control. So no, they should make sure they practice a zero trust architecture by not trusting any of their employees with their resources. So and they should have proper access control. So there should be a strict there should be a strict there should be a strict monitoring. Let me use a strict monitoring of their accounts, and they should also have the security upgrades, such as their security updates, like their system updates, their firewall, their ADS and IPS, and so on. So, and also based on the security and infrastructure overall, they should also encrypt their customers' data, so that even though the customers' data they were able to get the customers' data, they will not be able to access because it is encrypted. So they will not be able to know what it is, what the information they store. It will be of no use to the attackers because the data is encrypted. Now have a constant monitoring of third-party vendors. They should monitor their third-party vendors. They should, and anytime so any or any access request should be verified. Any access request should be verified, authenticated, and authorized before request is being granted. And after it is being granted to them, the company should follow on by asking them what they want to use the information to do and why they access the information. Our organization should provide security awareness training to educate workers. Now, by doing if the company has provided security awareness training for the employees, there will be low probability of the company being attacked as a result of insider threats. We have the mitigation strategies for the customers. We have number one there, we have stressing account security. I recommend the use of MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. This is just like saying they should be using more than one password on an account. An example is maybe you use the fingerprint, the password, face ID before anyone can log into the account. We also have the regular monitoring of transactions. So they should monitor their transaction, their previous, so to avoid any form of maybe their information is being stolen, so that they'll be able to quickly report it to the Coinbase before it has gone out of hand. So we also have this. The customer should stay alert to phishing and social engineering scams. So they should be aware of phishing and social engineering scams so that they won't fall a victim of the attack. And I would like to give some ways of identifying phishing or social engineering scam. Number one is urgency. When you receive maybe a call that is like making you like an urgent call that is pressuring you to quickly maybe click on it or put your login into a particular website, or those are bad. And number two, if you receive an email which is a phishing email, there are mostly maybe mistakes in their grammar. So they will not like the grammar will not be, it will not be, most of them their grammar are not always, they make mistakes. Alright, so they make mistake, and notice that use the HTTP. If it is HTTP, yes, there's a probability that it is a vulnerable website. But HTTPS, if the link is HTTPS, it is the secure version of HTTP. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. So, any questions?
Okay, so I just want to ask, why did you think the attackers chose the third party agent, like their customer support agent, for the attack? Why didn't they just attack the Coinbase directly?
So they did that. They didn't hack into the system directly because they knew that they have been studying the third party. So they knew that they had access to their internal tools, and even they had access to their customers' information. So they see it as an easier way instead of trying different type of attack to break into their system. They just use that as they use it as the like they use they use it as the
Okay, so in short, you are trying to say, okay, they already know the weakness and so they took
nice
the
one. Yes,
easier route and then
yes,
use
ma'am.
the human weakness
Nice one.
on them, right? Okay, thank you. Any other
Any other
question?
question?
How did they know the vulnerabilities in that Coinbase? Where did they find the vulnerability? Yeah.
So they know that they have been studying Coinbase for a while before they reached out to their third party vendors. So they knew that their third party vendors could have access to their customers' information. So they see it as an opportunity for them. I knew that the third party they are not part of their company. They are working for Taxos, but they are just like they are a third party to the Coinbase. So that was how they knew the vulnerabilities because they have been studying them. And
And what type of vulnerability is there? What type of
what type of
vulnerability
vulnerability
up- did
is
they saw there?
internal threat. Is an internal it is an internal form of vulnerability.
Is it the part of the customer, part of Coinbase workers that link?
Yeah, they are the third party now. So they are working for the Coinbase. They are contractors. They are working for Coinbase. So they actually work for Taxos. That's the name of their own company, but they are a third party to the Coinbase. They got someone sign contracts with them.
You said Coinbase should monitor their customers something. I don't understand that please.
Coinbase should, I don't know, they should monitor their systems and their employees. They should monitor their as when they so in the sense that when they access certain information, they should ask the reason for accessing the information and what they want to use it for. I think they have been asking the third party. I think they have been asking them that why did they access their customers' information? What did they use it for? They will have known that they are misusing their internal tools.
Okay. You know that you said, yeah, we have some type of phishing.
Yes, sir.
What type of phishing happened in that Coinbase?
It's not the social engineering that was their form of one attack.
You mentioned some phishing that there there's been a phishing to their customer, that
Like
they link some phishing to their customer.
they should. I never said anything like
Okay,
that.
please.
Like
No, let me start from your question. So the first question he asked was, what was the, how did this thing? So and you agree with me that in cybersecurity there is something we call reconnaissance. Even as you before there is be any attack, before any attack will happen, the first thing you must have done is what you gather information, you study the company. So that I believe that answers your first question. So they must have studied the coin, the attackers must have studied the company, and then they know that they make use of a third party, a customer support agent that has access to their customers information, in which those the third party, now there is like little to no access control. So they were able to use that weakness on them and then attack them through their customer support agent. I don't know if that answers your question.
but
So
what I'm asking,
Coinbase now is
you
now
know that there is some customers that the customers may be attacked with some phishing link. And that is what I'm asking. Maybe which what type of phishing is that? That's what I'm trying to ask.
okay. So you're asking that what type of there are different types of phishing. So you have phishing, meaning it is an oral way of tricking people into getting personal information, and we also have there are other way, but the basic one is the normal phishing through email links. So you can receive an email now or a link that say that you should click on this link. By clicking on this link, you'll be able to get this amount of data on your phone. You clicking on the link, maybe it may take you to a vulnerable website, and it may ask a request for your maybe your Gmail login. You log in now, the attacker will be seeing it in their from their This that this is what you use to log in, and they'll be able to use it to maybe steal your account safe. That's what all these most of all these Yahoo boys do now. Yes.
Okay, so I have one question I want to ask now. You were saying you were when you said you're fishing and fishing. Okay. When you said you're fishing and fishing, so is the vision under fishing or under social engineering? To be clear.
It is related. Division and social engineering is division, not fishing. Vision
Okay.
is more like social engineering.
Okay. So it's not like it's under it, it's related.
It's related.
So I noticed something as well. While you were starting your presentation, at first when you will go to your data breach and Coinbase, I was expecting more explanation for you to explain. So maybe like you were just rushing, you were let me do this thing. Your confidence and your energy covered everything. Before I now like called back to when I noticed that you not explain those parts. So is it that you were rushing or what, sir?
Mm.
Because you were just like you didn't explain the parts. I wanted to understand what you were trying to say, but I was not even hearing some parts when you were talking. I cannot hear what you were saying clearly. So that's one thing I noticed as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make some improvements.
Okay, sir.
Use your mind well.
I have question.
Mhm.
That data breach.
Yes.
I know.
You don't understand this. So,
Understand.
I said data breach is when confidential, sensitive, or protected information is accessed, stolen, or disclosed by unauthorized user. You know what an unauthorized user is? It's a person, somebody that doesn't have access to your device. Let's say example now, you put a password on your laptop, then I access your laptop. You know I've become so I am an unauthorized user. So me taking your personal information, me stealing your personal information, that what we call data breach.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. You know, you know that it's supposed to show us some practical that this is how data breach happen. Like supposed to have done some practical so that you can show us that we can say you know that we don't know what's
So like using layman language. For example, now let's say it's someone new or some you are teaching someone new to cybersecurity. So you will not be using word that they will know that you will use what they
That's why I was
understand.
explaining most of them.
Yes, I understand. So
Okay.
so you have to like break it down to a layman language to the extent that even a baby will understand.
Yes, sir.
So stuff like that you should take note.
So, I think my little observation, or what I would just say about that is the truth is, yes, in cybersecurity, there are some terminologies that is actually related to cybersecurity, and for you to actually like prove that you know what you are saying, sometimes I understand your point. Okay, let us understand what you are saying, but at the same time, to his own advantage, he has to use the right terms. You get it. So it is now it is his own responsibility to like use the term and then make us understand what you are talking about. But usage of those terms in the field is actually like something very important. We should not leave that out.
manipulation. I'll give him 7, sir. Yes, sir. 7 over 10. Yes, sir. He tried. Because there are some questions they answered that I don't believe him to answer. But yes, yes.
Okay, so from my side I would say you should get like 7.5. 7.5. So why I gave you is that you did your best, because seeing you before you were scared, but the fear was in you, but like your energy and confidence just covered everything. Even if you don't know anything, I just come here and talk, someone will believe that you are saying the truth. So that was one thing that gave you advantage of getting them with 5. So keep it up, sir.
Thank you.
Like I would say he even outdid himself because he was able to relate all the core cybersecurity fundamentals to the Coinbase data breach, which actually shows his level of understanding of all we have been discussing. So from my end, I must sincerely confess he did well.
You get him.
Listen.
So based on your presentations, my own rating will not be. Don't expect what they are saying.
Listen.
Are you getting?
Listen.
So I will score you low. Yes, and I will tell you the reason. So the reason is that during your presentations, no any other reason than to give you 9/10. Let's clap for him. So that's it.
Listen.
So, but this is theory. They are still coming back with these people.
Listen.
They are still coming back. So practical aspect of it
Listen.
is highly important as well.
Listen.
So and I know your instructor is there to push you through everything.
Listen.
So you are doing 3 presentations. This is just number 1 out of 3.